Hello, and welcome into this week's episode of Unrolled Stories, a weekly D&D campaign set in the world of Elvoria. We are back with these wonderful humans. There are two more, they're just off-screen doing something else at the minute. To roll some dice, attempt some questionable accents, and hopefully tell a decent story. We are once again down an Emma, who is now recovering from an illness, because life is conspiring to keep her away from the table. But Lesley will continue to be a sassy, flamboyant peacock while they recover. Couple of announcements to get out of the way to start with, so I will pass over to you, Andrew.
Silence, Dungeon Master! My name is Douglas Wimbledon Smythe, and the time for your horrors has been and gone. Now we take a moment to turn to whimsy. Hello, folks. Douglas Wimbledon Smythe here to let you know that Ramble and Rome's Rules of Wonder is available on Drive-Thru RPG. Isn't that right, Gethin?
Yeah!
Shut up. Yes, you too can now host adventures of incredible wonder and whimsy with a heap of wondrous realms to explore and fey nonsense to navigate. So away, adventurers, for wonder and whimsy, for Ramble and Rome, and for Runic Press on the Drive-Thru RPG. Back to you, Gethin.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Really successful Kickstarter, now available to grab on there. I hope you enjoy the various things in there. Other announcements. Podcast. We are now up to, heck knows at this point, 58, 48, 51, one of those.
Something.
By the point this episode goes out, we are so very close to catching up. So if you would prefer to listen to this as an audio-only format, you can go check that out on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and potentially, leave us a review and let other people come find us. And as always, we make use of the Reimagined Classes in this game that are available on the DM's Guild as a bundle, allowing you to embody Balrick, Lesley, Aderyn, or Ximori at your own table, or whatever version of those fantastical classes that you wish. And NPC art is provided by Erin Angiolini's Art Venturing Guild, the character art is produced by @LiveDoodles, and the Chibi battle map art, if used, was made by WeTheDreamingDesigns, so definitely do check out those artists if you can, and support real artists. With all of those out the way, unless there's any other announcements I've forgotten about, I think it's time to continue telling our story. Last time out, you all came to terms with the reality of what happened on the last night of Tianlong. Some secrets were kept from others, and some promises were made to more people. And following a group discussion, you decided to petition Cyric and the Jadenite Church as a whole for a rather large favour and return Togrim to the world of the living. Through some very convincing conversation and quite fantastic rolling, Pariarch Abracus was swayed by your arguments that Togrim had defended Derek and still had a purpose to serve in this world. In repayment, Dirk voluntarily gifted a token of himself to the city to act as a relic in his stead, and the entire party, Lesley included, even though it wasn't heard by anyone, swore an oath of various kinds and degrees to protect Derek wherever he wandered within the Empire. The resurrection ritual was conducted, and little Togrim once again breathed the air of the material plane. But needing to rest a number of days to recover, you all decided to leave him in the city where he could take up his studies at the Amaranthian Institute, and should you ever return, you can catch up with him then. You prepared to leave the city. We're conducting various pieces of business, one of which we will return to in a second, after everyone forgot about it. Including, I will say, informing the city of the existence of an ancient smithery beneath its streets, and at the same time announcing to the entire city that Derek had been assaulted the night prior, after law enforcement and the church had gone to considerable lengths to stop that from getting out. Nonetheless, you headed out onto the open road once again in the trails of the Stormcrest Legion that was marching north out of Fort Sire, where, after a few days' travel here and there, you made camp a day out from Sanroi Caar, and a traveller, dressed in a dark, hooded shawl, pulled up their handcart. So, you were all sitting around the small fire, the fresh autumn winds causing the flames to dance in the relatively star-filled night, and above it you are gently heating up a small pot of stew, at which point you pick up the sound of a handcart being put down just behind you. Balrick, you are very certain you would have heard such a thing approaching. It's not a quiet mode of transportation. Turning around, you see a figure in a heavy dark blue shawl, a braid of black hair poking out underneath the hood, resting on their chest. And you see a few bundles of items and clothing and other things poking out from the cart, and the wood itself bearing a number of knots and scuffs and clears some damage and wear and tear. The figure sees you turn to their approach and asks, "Space Spider Fire?"
I will stand hand on my blades, not drawing it. Go. Not in the habit of allowing strangers sit with us. What's your business? And here you go.
Oh, just looking to meet some folks and travel on the road.
Where are you hailing from?
Various places, never really settled down.
Which direction did you approach from?
Duskwood.
You keep that cart well oiled. Keep it quite so quiet.
Oh, thank you. It's done me well.
I'll turn to the rest of them, sort of I'm not trusting, but it's up to you.
There's more
Perhaps.
than there are of him.
Perhaps we should make him pass a test.
Yes, the test. He must pass the test.
I think it's important to check for the aura of a person. You know?
That's true.
Are you,
I say get the measure of a man and you've thrown them down a flight of stairs.
Are you all saying this out loud? I want to be clear.
yes.
Okay.
Me and Aderyn definitely.
I don't think there's any stairs around.
What's your name?
Oh, yeah, awfully rude of me. Sorry. No. Hello? Some people are called...
awfully rude.
The name's Foxtrot Charlie.
Foxtrot Charlie.
Yeah.
Is that like you were born with that name?
You pick up a name here or there.
So it's like more of a nickname.
Depends on your definition, I suppose.
You're a very vague person, you know.
Well, yeah. But hey, I'm fun. These are
You want
joining
him
me.
to stab us.
What
Stab?
do
You're
you
gonna
mean?
try and stab us in the night.
Why would I do that?
Our recent dealings with fun but vague folk has not been particularly pleasant.
That's unfortunate.
What do you have in the cart?
Bunch of stuff. Stuff I gathered. Stuff I traded. Looking to trade?
I mean, you still haven't answered the "Are you going to stab us?" question.
Why would I stab you?
That's
gonna
still
stab
not
me?
an answer.
I mean, if you stab me, I'll stab you. Trade seems fair.
All right, I won't stab you, and then you don't stab me.
Seems like a fair deal to me.
Maybe
Yeah, I'm
if
happy
you
with
take, maybe if you take off your hood.
Tomorrow just needs it very explicit.
You sure?
Well, I think I can tell better if I can trust you or not, if I can see what you look like. Not that I have anything against ugly people, but I think it's...
She's an expert vibe checker.
I am.
If I take off my hood, what are you taking off in payment?
I can take off a layer of distrust.
Deal. Seems fair. And they take their hood back, and what you see is something none of you have ever seen. This figure has a dark, slightly hooked beak on the front of their face. Kind of orangey black fur or feathers. It's very hard to kind of tell in the dancing light. And like almost like fox ears on the back of their head, and then long black hair that goes down the center in between the ears and is braided down into this braid that comes across their chest.
Weird.
Oh, yeah, it's cuter than I thought.
Thanks. Not often the response I get.
Well, what exactly are you?
I told you already, I'm Foxtrot Charlie.
So you're like a fox? Adjacent thing?
And also a Charlie.
I mean, I'm not a fox.
I think he passes the vibe check.
I mean, he said he's not going to stab me because I'm not going to stab him. So as long as, I don't stab him, we're all good.
Okay, you have some odd approaches to things, but yeah.
I mean, it's good to, be out front about these sort of things.
Yeah, if everyone's as good as their word.
Well, if they're not, I kill them. With brutal violence. Well, if they're going to stab me, and then, try to, if somebody is, trying to rob me on the road, and they're putting my life in danger, I'm going to put their life in danger. It levels out.
Hey, why would I? Robin.
It's gonna have gone very quiet.
Robin.
Ximori's mention of killing.
But can you explain Robin to me? Because I've heard about it, but I don't really get the premise.
I have stuff.
Yeah, and I'd like that stuff.
Yeah, and if you just took that stuff without my permission...
But why would I do that? That ruins half the fun.
They need to take my stuff.
The point of getting stuff from someone is you give them something back, though. That's how the whole thing works.
That's what I say, but people are like, oh no, I'll give me your money or I'll stab you, and it's like, is that the experience, or
I mean,
are you just threatening me?
Think it's a reasonable trade, being given a stabbing for your stuff.
Depends on the stabbing.
If you say so.
Did anyone
if it's a
else
good
have on their
stabbing.
bingo card Ximori being philosophical?
That stew smells good.
I mean, he's not going to stab us. What have you got for stew? What would he trade for stew?
Oh, yeah, good point. Give me a second. You see him dive into the handcart and disappear underneath like the leather or fabric awning on top of it. And you just hear stuff moving around. You see like the odd package that was half out come back in. And he's just wandering around in there a second. You guys have a moment to talk while he's like rummaging around.
I like it. It makes
Trust
sense.
this. I really don't trust this, I'll be honest.
It's nice and straightforward.
There are enough of us that we can deal with him, if necessary.
He looks a bit strange, and I think the Empire is unlikely to have strange things on their side.
Do you think he's like a sort of wild thing, or like a not from here kind of thing? Because I've never seen anyone like that before.
is new to me.
I've never seen it. Back home, we see quite a lot of things, especially in the clubs.
So is it just like, not from round here or not from like round here?
So you want me to find out?
Stab him.
No.
Right. We're trying to work on the not stabbing immediately as a response.
Right.
Perhaps-
Yes.
Remember?
Perhaps
Yes.
he was bred to be that way, like created. Kind of like whatever you are, Ximori.
So where I was made to be a weapon turned into a person, or is trying to be a person, he's trying to sell things, trade things?
Shall we at least
I mean,
try
it's
and...
possible.
This person seems very, very obsessed with trading, so maybe we try and see what they have to offer. In fact, if they're asking for a place at our fire, I think we should get potentially a fair recompense.
At this moment, you hear just a boom as Foxtrot Charlie comes like rolling out of their cart, dusts themselves off, and well, I got one of these. I've got bear balls, or I've got 4 candles.
The
I don't need
purple
4
would make-
candles. I've not got any forks, so what do I need candles?
No, 4 candles.
Yeah. I've already got all my forks are well handled, thank you.
No, 1, 2, 3, 4 candles.
Yeah, I know how many forks I've got, mate.
Are they
Or you can have
scented?
these. And he like holds up a hempen bag and just shakes it a little bit, and you hear like metal clanking inside.
I'm sure he said that they were bear balls.
Bearing balls, yeah. Bear balls. They're balls of the bear.
bear balls would definitely make your dolls a lot more interesting. I've never seen
Also, you
one with
could throw
bear
them at
testicles
people.
on there before.
Really?
I'm more interested in that than I am with these weird wax handles for my forks. So
Maybe I do need them then.
I suppose you could use them as 4 candles. If you needed to in a push. They might melt quite
yeah, but
quickly.
then what am I going to do for candles?
Well, I don't know. You'll have to come up with something else for that. Might be able to use the wood that you had on the 4 candles.
Tell you what. So, bear balls for stew. Come and sitting at our fire. Why don't you tell us a bit about yourself? A good story.
I've got a lot of stories. It doesn't seem like much for sitting down at a fire. Bear balls for stew seems fair, though.
Well, how about the candles? For sitting down at the fire.
Fire for fire? Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. There you
Yeah,
go.
good
He just
story.
launches 4 candles at you.
Yeah.
And hands the bear balls, which is just a bag of 12 ball bearings, to Aderyn. Not even 1,000, just 12.
12 ball bearings. What do ball bearings do?
Roll.
Whatever you want them to do. They're like that big metal balls. So, what are we having? What's in the stew?
What did you catch today, Balrick?
What would it call? Is it open field? It'll probably just been rabbits again, won't it? Rabbits today, rabbits tomorrow, rabbits for the next 5 days.
Well, it's better than hard pork.
So, Foxtrot Charlie takes a sit down, just like cross-legged sits down on the earth, and just like patiently waits for stew. Can I just... Yeah?
No.
Oh.
You have
Not
to
done
wait
yet.
for Balrick to share it around.
I'm sorry, I gave you my... What are you all called?
Mentioned Balrick.
My name's Aderyn.
Right.
The
Jet
surly
blast
one
off.
who's being grumpy over there is Lesley.
Hi. Colourful.
Yes, they are definitely a peacock.
Jet Blastoise.
Yeah,
And
Jet Blastoise, that's me.
Tauri.
Pleasure. I say, you can call me Foxtrot Charlie. And, so, what are you doing? Where are you going? What are you on the road for?
Well, you sat down at our fire, so now you've got to pay up with your story.
No, I paid up for stew and fire with the candles and the bear balls. We just agreed to that. No, we just agreed to that. We agreed to
the
that.
price for sitting down at the fire was the candles and the story.
I can tell you
That's
didn't.
what we agreed.
You corrected yourself, because he said that seemed like a price, and you said candles for fire and bear rings for stew. I have it.
You did.
Let's take out an axe.
Morning.
Anyway,
Story for story then. You first.
I asked first.
I can
That's
give
not
you.
true. I asked, where do you hail from?
And I
One of
gave
my
you an
first
answer.
questions.
Not looking for much, just trying to find out what people are doing on the road, you know? Fellow
Traveling.
wanderers.
I can give some very big gossip,
Oh,
but will you give us a story as well?
sure, I can give you something.
But
Fair's fair.
do you want to go? Do you want to go first?
Not at all.
Okay. Well, not to alarm you, or shock you or anything. But you are in the presence of the daughter of John Varley Bono. You know the Bon Varleys?
No,
They don't. What do you mean no?
never heard of them.
What do you mean you've never heard of them? That's impossible. Everybody's heard of them. They're like the biggest band, they're the biggest bard group ever.
Sorry. But tell me about them. Sounds fun.
What did you say you were from?
All
You said
over?
you travel around, right? You said you travel around.
Yeah.
You've never been down south.
What's south?
I give up. I give up. I give up.
Is south downhill? Because I've been downhill.
This is like, and I point in the vague direction of south.
Oh, so mountains.
That way. Like, the direction of like, that way.
So the mountains.
If I get to the mountains, but then, if I go past the mountains, it's still south.
So south is mountainwood, but beyond mountains.
Yeah,
Right. I'll remember that.
specifically those mountains.
Mountains.
Nah, not all mountains.
But you just... Anyway. So... What are you doing on the road again? You traveling? Are you going to go see the bard band? Is that where you're going?
No. I'm scouting for them.
Oh.
You know.
Wonderful. Is that what she's for? And points at Tauri.
Yes. She's a prospective candidate.
Oh.
She still needs to audition properly.
Oh. Oh, so you're heading to the auditions. Oh, that's interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't actually have much of a singing voice myself, so can't help it.
Well, now it's your turn, so you need to tell us a story.
Oh, sure.
It's got to be really important, like really big, because I just told you something really big.
Sure. Well, I was travelling along, came across a road where a bunch of one-eyed giants with some pretty nasty eyes kind of came across my path. And they wanted that stuff out of my cart, and I had to kind of convince them that they didn't want anything. Fortunately, they were kind of dumb. I'm not that bright either, but, I'm a little wittier than them. I kind of outfoxed them, and then just, got away, gave them something like a tarp, and then called it a cloak, and they seemed to be happy, and I got on my way.
Ah, nice.
Aderyn's just gonna, look at Tauri,
I must be saying, it's been nice to get out and stretch my legs.
You don't stretch them very much.
You end up feeling quite confined when you're just walking around where you're from.
Yeah. So do you come from mountains or from those trees over there?
No.
Do you come from The sky? Up?
No, I can't fly.
No?
I mean, do you see wings?
I mean, no, but that doesn't necessarily mean you can't
See?
fly.
I mean, I can fly for a short
learn how
time
to
and he just
fly
jumps.
briefly? I could help you fly very briefly.
Really?
Yeah.
Go on then.
You want to try it?
Yeah. Sounds fun.
All right, sweet. I grab him and throw him. There you go. You were briefly flying.
You weren't lying.
Yeah.
I trust
Try
you.
this guy.
Aderyn's just gonna move to sit slightly closer to Tauri.
So what's happening out here?
Ximori.
Spoke about a band, but is there like any other thing going on? I say, haven't been able to wander these areas for a while. Oh, nice to again.
Oh, you've been around here before?
Briefly. Can't really remember when. You know, you get that sense of like, the air feels somewhat familiar.
Yeah, I do get that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Wow. No, so nothing happening? Just,
No, just, walking a road. Seeing where the road goes. That
Well.
sort of thing.
you want to trade anything else?
So you grab a bunch of stuff, right? You just have a bunch of stuff with you, don't you?
Yeah, a
You
bunch
go-
of stuff that I've collected and traded for all over. Got something really shiny if you want it. But you have to trade for it.
Oh, what's the really shiny thing? I'll trade. Depending on how shiny it is, I might trade for it. I need to know what it is to see if I've got something that's valuable enough to trade for it,
Suppose
Otherwise,
that
it'd be
makes
an unfair
sense.
trade to you. Yeah. I'll stay over here and I won't move.
Okay.
So you can show me the shiny thing safely.
Tell you what, I'll show you it if you tell me one thing that's happened in the last couple of suns. Something interesting. Something that's not you, you know? Want to know more about the world?
Something that's not me. Something about the world.
Yeah, what's going on?
So, that guy, and I point to Dirk,
Oh, hey, dude.
he's become like a big sensation at a big city.
Oh. Is that
They're all
like,
like, oh, he's really...
is he like part of that band?
No. I mean, maybe.
Maybe. Is he also auditioning?
Not yet.
Turns to Aderyn.
He might be. Hey, Dirk. And I'll say a broken draconic. You sing?
No.
Maybe not. He might be a dancer, though. He's not a good singer, apparently. He'd probably dance good.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. I suppose he's relatively shiny. He seems fair to show off a shiny thing. Well, he like dives back into the wagon, starts rummaging around, moving out. And you see him pull out.
I don't think he's from round here, guys.
No.
No, I've never seen anyone like him before. I kind of like him. I feel like we understand each other.
If you like
Good
him,
to find
why did you throw him up into the air? He could have gotten hurt.
yeah, but he let me do it. And if he'll let me do that, he might have other interesting stuff that he'll give me
Here we go.
for other things.
Comes out something wrapped in. You see a sword hilt in a very nicely done leather scabbard, bit aged, but otherwise holding up quite nicely. Kind of a slightly wave-like crossguard. You go, see, shiny. He like pulls it out slightly, and you see a glimmering silver blade.
That is shiny.
Yeah.
That's real shiny. Have I got anything shiny? I'll go through my bag. I have got... Have you ever seen a bear but smaller?
You mean like a cub?
Like a full-grown bear, but it's tiny and also hard.
No.
Would you like to?
I mean, sure.
I'll take out my little bear statuette.
Cute.
Yeah. I don't know what it's for,
Me neither.
other than just sort of being a small bear.
Thanks.
Yeah. You've seen it now.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think I have anything as shiny as your thing, so...
ah, that's a shame. Just throws it in the cart over his shoulder. Just hear it.
I think Aderyn's wearing some shiny stuff. I says to her in this June, I'd like to dish it out.
Yeah,
I'm
we
gonna
can't,
show
like,
off
trade
my
Aderyn.
massive collection of rings.
We give Aderyn like 4 rings.
Oh. Nice.
Thank you. These very high class, very expensive.
Sure. Take your word on that. No reason not to. You trust me, I trust you. See? It's all fair.
Yeah.
I'm not
You
giving
know, I
them
teach
to
you how to
you.
fly
Oh.
briefly, and you're happy.
That's a shame. But no, that's fair enough.
How about a second flying lesson?
You know, I'm still hurting from the other one, so maybe later.
Okay.
Anyway, Stu? You'll serve up stew, have a little bit of like slightly stale bread to go with it. Foxtrot Charlie just, as I said, sits cross-legged, like clearly like on the opposite side of the fire to the rest of you for some reason, but just like looking at all of you, just like expectantly waiting for like further conversation or other things. Is there anything anyone else wants to do during this long rest? As Foxtrot Charlie just sits there and observes.
I'd like to practice my draconic.
Sure. What tense is being taught today?
Please teach us. I need to learn to speak with my
Perspective
friend the
future.
dragon.
I'll teach you food stuff
Okay.
while I'm preparing like famous food.
Roll me an
Is
intelligence
it
check.
perspective future? Is it...
I don't know what I am teaching actually. I'm going to teach her it in the really ancient dialect, just like, I think this is this. I might talk with her in Draconic, but I only speak like ancient Draconic, so
Yeah.
Forsooth.
I'm rolling on.
No,
Aderyn's
sorry,
rolling.
Aderyn rolls.
Me. Intelligence, you said, yeah?
Yep.
That is a 12.
A 12.
Slow progress.
Slow progress, but steady progress is critical here. You grab a few words for like rabbit. Potatoes.
Potato.
I would like to ask him if he has any books.
I can have a look. What are you offering?
I got some stuff.
can give you some notes on some ancient gods.
I've also got this quite nice blanket.
What do you want for it?
You got any interesting books?
I'll have a look. You're just diving back into the cart, full of exuberance for like this random assortment of knickknacks that they've got inside.
That's fine. I also have a random assortment of knickknacks that I
You
don't
see like a
need.
jumper get thrown out, and a scarf. He just comes out with like
Lesley, no.
comes out with 2 books. I got 2. Don't
Yeah.
really remember where I got them or what I traded for them, but I got 2.
What are
Tell
they
you
about?
what, a book sort of like makes like it's like a small blanket.
Is it?
If you like open it out,
I mean, it looks more like a tent to me.
very small tents need quite large blankets because a little tent isn't going to keep you as warm as a big tent. So,
Horrick's looking at Ximori like,
2 books, 2 books, big blanket.
Roll me a persuasion check.
I feel something on my intellectual level of 9.
9.
That is minus what? Wait, persuasion. I get plus on that one. That is 14.
I'll do 1 for 1.
Yeah, right.
Which one do you want? Red or brown?
I And like the cover's facing towards us, or is it just like the back?
It's just leather-bound books.
I like red.
Hucks a red one at you.
Huck a blanket at him.
What did you do about this? Fair trade. And
Well,
this?
that's
It's-
been happening.
let me
I
get me
just
this
copy
book.
in my notes into blank pages and then tear them out of the back of my notebook.
You just
Make
got
them
like
ancient gods.
you got like 5 pages for a book.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't look about the right size.
Yes, but it's lost knowledge.
Size this. It was lost in the back of my car.
That doesn't mean it's lost. It's just lost to you.
Is there
It's
stuff
lost to the
written in your
world.
book?
Yeah.
The value of
Is
this
it the-
knowledge is greater than what's in that book.
How do you know? You don't know what's in this?
I suspect
see, I've
that
got this
lost
quiver.
knowledge to the world is not quite sought after by
Just
many.
because it was lost to the world doesn't mean it was lost to everyone.
I mean, if it's lost to the world, it's normally lost
There's
to everyone.
multiple worlds, my friend.
Are you from one of those?
Maybe.
The ones that isn't this one?
I wander around. I get places. I happen to run into a few ones.
Huh.
Gethin,
Yeah.
as my newest... The Gethin, not the creature.
Yeah, I know.
I want to know, is this thing a fae? As they are one of my new favoured enemies.
Good enemy.
Do you have a feature that does that? I can't remember whether you've got something like Primeval
I know
Awareness.
that I've got favoured enemies.
Cool. Okay.
I was wondering if this is...
Make me an insight check make me an insight check with any favoured enemy bonuses that you get.
Advantage on ability checks related to if it is a fae or a
I will
thing.
give you advantage on this.
That's a 17.
17. The odd nature of their species, the way that they just have no concept of direction, and their incessant need for equal trade over anything, all the hallmarks of a fae. But a fairly casual
Right.
one compared to the ones you've dealt
Yeah.
with previously.
I would like to
I-
take out a fairly decent but empty quiver.
Okay.
Now you see, a book that's been written in is all filled up,
Yeah.
but this is empty. So there's still plenty of space to put stuff in it.
I've got plenty of space in my car.
Yeah, but not in your book.
Ah, that's true.
Your book's just taking up space, whereas you can put more stuff in this.
Like what?
Well, like, can I look around the ground? Like, sticks. Tauri.
How big's that quiver?
I'm just like putting like Tauri's arm in it. Like, you can put a person in there and out of it.
Huh.
You can put... You see that tree over there?
Yeah.
I like turn it upside down and like put it over the tree, like perspective. That's got a tree in it.
Roll me a persuasion check. Roll me a deception check, actually.
That is 15.
I don't know.
Also, you can put arrows in it, and then they're not, just loose and stabbing you.
Do I have any arrows?
Because an arrow that's not in a quiver is an arrow that's being fired at you.
Oh, so this could protect me from arrows.
Yeah.
Roll me a persuasion check.
But if you got all the arrows in it, natural 20 got 21.
Ah, seems like a fair deal to me. Save me from arrows next time anyone tries to steal my stuff.
Yeah,
There you go.
probably.
Quick pro quiver.
Yeah. I throw the quiver at him. Hey, Tauri, what do you want for these books?
Ah, you're getting it. And just starts lobbing him in his cart.
I just raise an eyebrow.
I'll have a look at the inside of the book, of the red book.
The Red Book, it's a fictional story about a wizard who starts traveling to the Fire Plane where they fall in love with a fire genasi. and they then struggle being over there because they're not meant for that plane. So it's all about them like trying to figure out ways to protect themselves from fire elemental planes so they can go see the person they love.
And it's called Too Hot to Handle.
Yeah.
And the brown book?
The brown book is a book about soil types, titled Soilbeard's Repository on Soil.
I mean, well, Tauri, this red one, it's a book about magic. And so I don't want it. It's a powerful magical book. Probably.
Are you rolling deception?
Sure.
I roll insight.
16!
My passive insight is 17.
Yeah, this ain't
Roll.
passive though. This is active. You're trying to determine what he's saying, what they're saying.
Well, I rolled a natural 17
There you go.
plus 7, so 24.
It's a book about magic.
Tauri
Definitely in there.
just raises the eyebrow even higher, just going.
So it raises the other eyebrow.
No, you know when you do it a little bit like, and then it's.
And Balrick, you like this one? It's about earth and stuff. And I'll just chuck the brown one to Balrick.
I'm fine without anything from that. Thank you.
I mean, there is a book in the air currently. Just
What do you mean by that?
I think I know where you're from.
Yeah? Go on then.
You don't get my knowledge for free.
Seems fair. I'll guess where you're from then. Seems fair. Guess for a guess.
Fair?
I guess you're from the riverbanks because you're tall so you can see over the banks while still being in the water.
yeah, that does make sense.
I have lived by rivers.
There.
Not originally from there though.
Wow. Wow.
You're a fae.
What's a fact?
Ah. Great. You're a stupid fae.
Definitely being called stupid. What's wrong with that?
I'm not. I'm not the type to give trust very freely.
Wow. That's a shame. Well, if you don't want me around, I'll leave. Fine.
Yeah. Probably make you more comfortable, wouldn't it, Balrick?
If the others want you to stay, that's fine. But
Hey, you've had your stew. You've had your set by the fire. Had your road left.
Aderyn?
We've not had good experiences with the Fae recently.
Or did Aderyn's expression immediately drop when I
Yeah.
Well, I can't help that.
How do you not know what you are?
Don't exactly go around just naming ourselves, but like catch-all terms.
Well,
Don't really know many
Where
people
we-
like me, to be honest.
do you have a family?
Probably.
Do
You
you
have a family in
remember
your car.
anything?
It's kind of hazy.
Do you remember anything from before just wandering around?
Not really. Kind of been wondering my life.
Are you tricking us?
That I'm a wanderer? No, I do tend to wander around. That's why I got a car. Like you. Look, what do you want to know? Why did you tell me stuff? I'll tell you stuff. I like learning. I like meeting new people.
We're going to be
How did you come
anyway,
to- oh, sorry.
Balrick. We may as well let them stay the night.
I'll be sleeping with one eye open.
Cool trick. Can't do that. Is it sleeping time now?
How did you
Yeah.
come to a boat just so quietly?
Don't know. Just saw your campfire and started heading over. Just kind of.
Were you like
What?
Were you like here when you were doing that, or were you like somewhere else?
What, when I started wandering over?
Yeah.
I was just walking along a road and then there was a campfire, so I thought I'd come up to the campfire.
Yeah, but like
Is
the
it-
road here or world like over there?
What, that road? What's the...
Yeah, but like
No, I
not
wasn't on that
road.
road.
Which road?
I was on the road I was on.
Can you point at the road you're on?
It was that way.
Is
Just
that
like
road still here?
arbitrarily points behind the way their cart was, which Balrick roll me a perception check.
8 plus 6. Yeah, 14.
There ain't a road that way. That's just open grassland.
Would you be able to lead us down that road?
I could try. Never really had anyone travel with me.
No, I mean, I know we're in a rush, guys, but catch us a fear or can we get us where we need to go?
I mean, it'll get you somewhere.
Exactly.
Or it could trap us forever.
Because if he doesn't know where he was going when he was on that road, he was just wondering. You think he's going to be able to take us where we want to go?
You
I
said
let
you
him go,
can-
but I think you're asking a bit much of him.
The road that you're on,
Yeah.
does it take you where you want to go or where you need to go?
Kind of just where I go. We just wander around. Don't really have a set destination in mind, you know? More interested in who I meet along the way.
You said you came over here because you saw the campfire. Is
Yeah.
that because you like fire?
I mean, it's warm. Nice on a night. But usually there's people near a fire, so I usually go, you know,
I don't believe they're related.
why? Seems a pointed question.
It's just a question.
I've been honest with you. It'd be nice if you answered my questions too. You know, trade for trade.
Yeah, we've met like someone who's like a bit like you, except they're sort of like they look a bit more like me, but like big, and they're really into fire and like campfires and stuff, and they can sort of like appear all over the place.
Rings a bell.
They had like a
does?
big like they like music and dancing.
Quite a lot of people do. She does.
Yeah, that's true. Aderyn does like singing and dancing.
How do you know that?
You said you did.
And bad.
But I didn't say anything about me singing or dancing.
No,
I
it's
just
that
assumed.
you like it.
Doesn't have to be you singing or dancing. You like singing and you like dancing, not necessarily you doing it.
Anyway,
Hey, have you heard this song before? And I'll get out my flute.
roll me a performance check.
And
I assume you're playing the song that Togrin was whistling.
yes,
Yeah.
and that is a 15. I've got a +4 in performance. Really?
Think so. I think I've heard it through the forest before. Didn't tell you much about it.
What's it like? What does it make you think of when you hear it?
Warmth. Refresh. I don't know.
It's weird, yeah, because when I hear it, I think fire and destroying and screaming.
That's awfully dark
don't-
of you.
I don't think the eyes like that song. Don't play it again, please, Ximori.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Okay. You gave me a thing for free there, so I'm going to give you something for free. Yeah, ask me a question, I'll answer it for you.
What's
It's only
that? So-
fair.
why are you asking about that other one? Looks like you.
Because the big,
Yeah, that
the
one.
big fiery guy. Yeah. Well, because like we were at like a theatre. You know, theatres.
Yeah, I'm aware of them.
Yeah. So we were at one of those, and he set it on fire,
Oh. Odd.
and like people were in it, and there
Oh.
was a lot of like screaming and like people being scared, and he set a lot of fires.
Maybe he has a reason.
Maybe we're trying to figure out what that is,
Oh.
because you know we were talking about robbing and like why people would do robbing.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to figure out why he'd do burning of stuff that's not his.
Maybe it was his.
Yeah, but it's not now.
What's now? What's then?
Well, now is now, and then was when I gave you an impromptu flying lesson.
Or are you going to give me an impromptu fire lesson now?
Well, would you like an impromptu flying lesson now?
Prove my point, wouldn't it?
It would. But also, you get slightly closer to flying.
Yeah.
But don't you think if you were to burn something that used to belong to you, you would go after the people that own it now and not just the innocents?
Can't say I've given it much thought. I'm just coming. Making things up.
Why don't you give it some thought then? Imagine we told you, hey, you like being here with the campfire and the stew, how about you stay here for tonight? And then someone else comes and says, well, I slept here yesterday, so I'm going to burn you alive. How would you feel?
Well, it wouldn't feel great if they intentionally were burning me alive. I'll be honest there.
But they have a reason to.
Or do they just have a reason to set a fire?
I suppose that is a point. We've been assuming that like they've been setting fires to like, you know, scare people, but it might just be setting fires.
I think he told us why he was. He gave us a hint as to why he was setting
I
fire.
mean, there was a pretty blatant "I want to burn the Empire" sort of vibes.
Well, yeah.
Which wouldn't be an issue if it wasn't for all the innocents.
I do agree.
I mean,
Less
it's not
people in the
my-
world
my
is
home.
less good.
It's less people to trade with.
Less people to talk to.
And he's burning a lot of people at the moment.
Well, I suppose you better stop him then.
I mean, we'd rather he didn't do that.
Do something about it.
Would you help us stop him?
Probably not, no.
Would you be able to give us information as how to stop him?
Probably not, no. Don't really know what you're talking about.
Would a name help?
Mm. You got a name to give?
Possibly. Or at least what he told us to call him by. Aderyn?
Doesn't ring a bell. Sorry.
Worth a shot.
Well, I hope you find him. Maybe ask him some questions. Maybe he'll give you some answers.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think it's time to sleep.
Okay. And just lies down.
See? Simple, understands what I'm talking about. I like him.
Is there anything else anyone wants to do this evening?
Oh,
I will be reading more of my book.
Sure, roll me an intelligence check.
Not your ones. 13.
13. You don't get much more technical knowledge than what you got previously. What you get more within this is talking about particular locations and like how different locations might differ slightly in how they etch. There is a few locations listed. The 3 that particularly spring to mind. There's 4 of interest, but 3 that are more interesting. The first one is southeastern Fathaline, in basically where you just were. The other 3 speak of the dwarves of the Rigrad Mountains, the people of Ilgendir, and the families of Jesus Christ. Brain's gone.
Families of Jesus Christ.
God, he's just ripping off Matthew Riley.
Sorry, brain's gone. Give me a second. Oh, the families of Corin. Which, if you want to roll me... Give me a history check.
Only 11.
Only 11. You would know of the Rigrad Mountains and Corin.
Yeah.
Corin is where your father originally hails from. Or that line of family does. And the Rigrad Mountains are to the northwest side of the Empire. They split the Rycleo Valley and Cascadia Reach. Anything else?
I would like to start reading my red book.
Feel free. It's not that slutty, really. It gets rather technical at points.
It's like, this is just magic stuff. I don't understand it. I don't like it.
But you all do eventually settle down, and in the morning, Handcart's still there.
Is Foxtrot Charlie still there?
Foxtrot Charlie, you see, is like packing up his new blanket that he was using to sleep with last night and putting it in the thing. Well, I'm going to head off. I don't really know which way I'm going, but maybe I'll walk with you for a bit.
Yeah.
Or I can just leave now. I don't really know what you want.
I think Balrick would feel better if you left now.
Okay, bye.
But nice meeting you.
See you again.
Yeah, maybe.
Just starts wandering off. Towards the mountains, actually. Your talk of south. Mountains and the
He wants
Ithralwood.
to explore the south.
Go and understand South. Go to Aderyn's home.
But you all start
Meet Aderyn's
preparing
family.
a quick breakfast, conscious that you want to get back on the road. And as you're cooking breakfast, you're like watching them wander off. Serving breakfast, you look up, and they're gone.
Does it feel reminiscent of the last Fey crossroads we stayed on?
What do you mean by reminiscent?
Like when we met Anhain? Anhain. When he hid us from the castigators. Does it feel like it could be a similar place?
Roll me an Arcana check.
Arcana 24.
24. It's not like there's an ambient feeling that you're picking up on or anything. I mean, what happened to you last time was you seemed in a different place.
Yeah.
You still feel pretty rooted solid, and this person just disappeared.
That's what
Just
I'm going to assume.
wandered off into another place. It's possible it's the same.
Yeah,
Um,
that's fine.
anything else this morning?
We'll just get back on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Read my book. Read my other book.
Go.
I've got books now.
In that case, as you travel along the road, you have a largely uneventful day, with grey cloud rolling across the sky on gusts of wind. And as the sun is getting close to the horizon, you'll kind of start thinking about finding a decent place to rest, when Aderyn, you spot cresting over the horizon the rising cliff edge hill upon which rests the town of Sanroi Caar. A place you have all previously visited, and while not necessarily received a warm welcome the last time you were there, does have indoor accommodation, good food, good drink, and a chance to rest on something that actually constitutes a bed. You can see faint puffs of smoke coming from the city, likely from the fireplace of the Blue Horn Bar, and the squat circular building of the church at the very top of the town's rise. What do you want to do?
Well, Aderyn needs to go and find earthquake protection.
What protection?
Sarah's taking notes on our webcam, she's doing it.
Get her camera through.
Oh.
It's deeply entertaining.
I will type politely.
It just makes it look like you're on the back of a horse.
But I'm in the wagon, so.
So, are we going to bypass or stay the night?
Well, isn't that the one with the horrible religious fanatics that went all like, oh, we're going to murder everyone with magic, then put that guy in the big, like, bell and thundered him to death? Because call me a cautious person, but I don't think it's best we're in that place.
Last time we were there, we did set it on fire. Yeah.
Maybe they
We
moved
didn't
on.
set it on fire. We helped prevent the fire.
Saved it. You're right.
But one of them had a big mechanical hand that could crush people's skulls.
They do say lightning doesn't strike twice in the same place.
That's
Yeah, but thunder
absolutely
kind of
bullshit.
does.
Lesley
No.
does.
Also,
Lesley points up from the back of the car. I'd love a bed, though.
Yeah, that's beds when we get to Andamon.
I've lived in the mountains. You get lightning storms. Lightning absolutely strikes in the same place.
No, it
Both
doesn't.
times. It does.
Because
You
it's
both-
not good for the soil.
Speaking of
Yeah.
So it doesn't-
Andamon, by the way, flashback that we forgot to do again. I'm just going to cover this very briefly
It's
and
never
Chris,
going anywhere.
jump in if there are any objections from Balrick. Before you left Azure Dothrast, you did swing by the Midnight Mist, where you had Glide and Melanoir meet you. Glide gave you a small wooden box, maybe about 1 foot by 1.5 foot. Fairly plain but clearly well made, with an inlaid brass lock. Distinctly said to you, don't open the box. You don't need to know what's in the box.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You're not gonna open it?
It will have been under the seat of the car the entire time.
I'm assuming that no one else knows about it.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna sleight of hand it.
Cool.
And I got a 19 plus my sleight of hand is huge, so
I didn't mind that box.
You were told the package is destined for
Right, that's
Andamon,
24.
specifically the Emerald Dune Casino. Deliver it
Andamon.
personally to Lady Luck. The concierge at the casino will provide you with help. Tell them
Okay,
you are
okay.
bringing a promised dream.
Oh, where am I writing? Where should I write that down? I'm bringing a promised dream.
And then the only other element was
Lady Luck.
Melanoir may check in on occasion with you, and I would appreciate confirmation of the delivery once it's been done.
Yep.
That's all. And assuming you have no objections to all that, we skip forward to where you are now approaching Sanroi Caar as dusk is settling in.
I'm just saying, like, if we are going to go in there, some of us, Aderyn, are going to have to not get fighty with the locals again.
Did anyone get fighty with locals?
Well, last time we were there, we were in the pub when Mr. Crushy Skull with Big Hand came in. And we were all like, okay, let's like go somewhere else. And Aderyn was like, no, let's have an in-depth conversation about magic and religion.
We must have a very different idea of what violence is, Ximori, because as long as I remember, I just talked to them.
Yeah, but the problem is, when people talk, they end up saying stuff they don't want to say. And then that ends up to fights happening. And then ends up with me having blood on my hands that I don't want.
Are you saying that I'm not able to just keep secrets?
No. But I'm saying that other people aren't necessarily not going to make bad decisions based on what other people say.
I think I trust Aderyn to control herself in town. And...
Well, yeah, I trust Aderyn to control herself. She hasn't exploded my brain in ages. What I don't trust is big metal hand bastard McMahon in there.
Or exploded your brain?
Someone can roll a perception check.
I mean, he did once. Twice,
That
actually.
wasn't the real explosion. If you want the real explosion...
I would really rather not.
11.
Tauri with a 22. You have a clear view from the road of the top of the town, specifically the church. Clearly designed to be visible from all around. The talk of the brass hollow spike chambers, bells is the term that we're going with, was that they were in that courtyard in front of the church. They are not visible from the road. Now, whether that means they are still there and just not visible, you're not 100% certain, but they were fairly tall and you cannot see them.
Things are missing. Normally we'd be able to see the...
I don't think we should stop. We're in a rush to get to insert town name here.
Bandar.
Bandar.
How much more
let's
could you
get there.
push, is the question.
You are coming up to the end of day. It is the point. Because it was basically 100 miles to Andamon, and this is... You would get 5 miles past Andamon if you kept going.
So an
Sanroi Caar.
hour. If that. Well, a bit more than an hour.
Not Andamon, sorry, Sanroi Caar.
Alright, if we want to stop for somewhere comfortable.
We stay here and leave at first light. We can eat
It
on the
needs to be. We can't get distracted again. Every time we stop somewhere, we get distracted.
We don't have to if we keep Lesley away from the alcohol.
Provided we go into the tavern, though. Well, it was a good time last time before, everything happened.
I suppose.
Yeah, come on then. He starts trying to get the reins off Balrick.
No. Fucking back.
So you head towards the town. At this point, the sun is touching the horizon and a cool wind is beginning to settle in. And as you ride into the town, you notice the damage. The town is charred. A number of buildings, entire streets in certain places, are just burnt frameworks of houses. a number of walls that are still standing bear soot and burn marks. And as you progress through the relative quiet of what was once a busy town, it settles in. A number of people in this town have left. There are some who do remain, repairing things, recovering what they can. Taking a look around as you move your way up through the town, you can see a blacksmith that's clearly been shuttered up with a sign and doorways covered in ash and soot. The Blue Horn Inn, while bearing a fair amount of damage, is somewhat fairly upright and standing. Let's say it's got a covered outside area now, whether by design or not. And at the top of the hill, the stone edifice of the town's church still stands silent and proud despite the blackened ruins that are around it. You've arrived in Sanroi Caar, and it is clear so did someone else. Few people on the sides of the road bearing minor injuries and whatnot. And then you come across a small repaired building that's somewhat been turned into what constitutes a medical facility. Kind of with a number of beds out with people recovering. A couple of kind of elderly people in there, clearly like the local town healers. And a much larger figure in there as well, who has their back to you, but is clearly out of place with the kind of older people who seem to be tending to most of other people. And Hugh!
What you see before you has the shape of a half-orc, but not all of the features of. He is a tall, though apparently not the tallest person here amongst this group of seemingly giants that have strolled into town, most of them. He's a stocky figure, like wearing, like probably stripped down, wearing just a, like, loincloth, no. Sort of green and brown tunic, and like brace and hose, with a like cloak just sort of over his shoulders with a sort of golden torque over it. Stocky, handsome man, sharp cheekbones which are almost ridge-like, and sort of as he turns towards you, you see that he's got sort of like the sort of greenish, although quite sallow skin of a half-orc, but with sort of touches of bronze scales over his like neck and collarbone area, and part of his sort of like fairly ridged, almost Klingon-y forehead, with a like eyes that are sort of black but with green, like bright green sclera. Never know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. So this thick, flat nose that almost melds into the into his eyebrows and forehead. With fangs sort of emerging from his bottom and top lips. Then stocky, muscular, long dark hair, sort of starting from behind the forehead, like sloping thing and sort of going down over his shoulders. And sort of short, pointed ears, sort of slope backwards, and sort of what looks like almost like a tooth piercing in one of his fangs. Got a bit. Yeah, he's also got sort of essentially like what are sort of vestigial horns coming out of the like the top of his head.
He's got main character energy.
Don't you fucking know it? As he is probably sort of bent over a bed, sort of helping someone. You would probably get see a small glimmer of like greenish white light coming from his hand, and sort of the person who's probably quite badly burned begins to sort of breathe a bit easier. There you are, my friend.
And there is where we're going to take a break. As
I was literally bouncing in my seat. I was like, yes.
But yes, we will pick up this story with a new character after the break. So we will see you in a little bit. And welcome back. We will pick right back up in the temporary infirmary in the burnt out husk of a building within Sanroi Caar, where 4 5-billet beds, most of them filled, are being taken care of by 2 elderly women and a rather hulking, impressive-looking half-dragonborn, half-orc, who turns as the interesting cart pulls up just outside.
So,
About my business.
where we sleeping, do you think, Balrick?
Those lot seem like trouble. I won't talk to them.
Like,
Oh, that guy looks weird. Let's go talk to him.
see if the inn's still open. We don't need to. Let's not get involved too much. We don't want to draw attention to ourselves.
Yeah.
I am actually, sort of walking, gently in that direction, just in a like,
That guy's walking that way as well.
just in like, he's stripped down to just his tunic and Raisinhose and whatnot, but he will sort of, whoa now, Balrick, will sort of grab a what looks like a longsword in a sort of like belt it back over his tie it back onto his belt, and just sort of almost sort of in a like protecting his patience kind of way, just standing assessing what this group of degenerates looks is
Degenerates,
all
how
about.
dare you?
Are you stopping us?
No, it's like standing on the edge of the triage center, triage camp. Of course,
Well, we
being
don't
a new,
need to bother
being a
them
new,
if
a
they're...
new player, what do I see?
You see a quite ramshackle wagon that's clearly been like hand edited. Like we've constructed stuff. There's like
And
it's like a
edited in
standard
Photoshop.
wagon.
It's got decked out like flame decals.
I say rebuilt.
It's got
Underfloor lighting.
It was like run down, and we fixed it up, and then we've added this like really ramshackle like cover on it, so it looks pretty Oregon. It's quite Oregon Trail.
With tiny house nation.
I don't know if you see the rest of them because they'll be inside it. But I'm Balrick. It's pulled by a giant ox who you might get introduced to. It does have a name.
Your cards, right?
At the reins is Balrick, a rather short Goliath, but still 7 foot something, with long flowing hair tied up in a top knot, with the like very Geralt sort of top knot there, but then the soft there, brown with greying flecks, middle-aged man sort of looks, who is like, if you're eyeing him up, he'll eye you back up, like, but he wants to continue going, so he's not stopping. Do like a old man nod. We'll do a
Yeah, the rest of us will be in a pile in the back of the wagon.
Two dads passing it
feel like
that sort of.
Oh yeah. At I think probably poking out of the curtain of the canvas is a giant lizard head of a like pearlescent sort of dragon.
So I got like
Like a dog out of the
dog.
Smoky.
Chonkster, so Komodo dragon style chonkster overhead at my side, and if you've got a higher passive perception than 24, you might see something else.
I have
Right,
18 actually. My passive perception is not bad. It's the only thing.
If you're looking, maybe you can roll a real perception. Maybe you can see.
Give it a go. First roll of the session.
Yeah, feel free.
At 20.
This is you, by the way. Sorry, you've not played with Hugh.
What have I
Hugh's dice are stupid.
Oh, so he's like the opposite of me.
Opposite
That's
of
good
Will
to know.
Wheaton.
Okay.
Literally the opposite of Will
okay.
Wheaton, I think, is the best way.
So you do see a suspicious-looking box underneath the chair. Then, like, it clearly attempted and quite well hidden away, but you clearly have good eyes. So,
Enhance. Enhance. Enhance.
Come in and enhance.
Contraband. Stop, you violated the law.
Then was Ximori asking? Oh, I need to. I need to note take. This is so hard.
Hey, it's almost like it's a shared Google Doc and anyone could open it and note take.
I'm doing the timestamps. I'm real good at them this time. I definitely didn't leave
Dad not.
our gap.
I'll help, Chris. I'll
Being
keep
this
help.
other dad character, being like, you know what, I feel like I trust this guy. Just from seeing what he's like, I will, walk over to the giant arcs. Okay, now I need to decide on the voice that I'm going to be using for the next sessions.
It'll change.
Swedish.
Hail there, friend. Immediately, no, not doing that.
Feel it out. It's fine.
Well, hi there, buddy. How you doing?
Hail, friend. I say to the ox now.
You say to the ox.
Well, I'll speak with animals, but I'm not going.
He leaves.
I will say it to the Goliath.
Life, you just
Chris
left
has left the
You
campaign.
can say it to the ox. I'll respond as if you're saying it to the ox.
I'll say it to you. Why not?
Okay. Oh, I'll pull up the wagon. Hilda, are you alright? Looks like you've had a rough time here.
Yes, not been good. What brings you here?
We're travelling quick pace up north. We just need a place to stop for the night. Tavern's still in one piece.
Blue one's still here. Not in. It's not untouched. I'm sure you can find somewhere to stay.
Perhaps our
Got it.
patronage will help support people from the town.
Say we. It's we.
Well, there's Dave here. Quite a restless guy.
He bows to
Points to
Dave.
points to the ox. Big ox called Dave. Not spelt how you think.
I've seen how
And then I got a few companions in the back here.
Hey, Balrick, why have we stopped? Oh, hi.
I've just got. We're being chatted to, you know.
And poking out of the wagon is a wild as fuck looking elf. Just with very angular features, very, very muscular, very, very broad. Just with like slightly reddish hair and piercing yellow eyes, where the pupils are just a little bit too small for the rest of the eye. You just see a little bit too much of the whites. Like, hi.
there.
Good to meet you. Who are you? Who are you?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm known as Arquin.
Arquin. Nice to meet you.
A-R-Q-U-E-N.
Say that again.
Arquin. A-R-Q-U-E-N.
Arquin, yeah, nice to meet you.
I have your name?
Oh, yeah, Ximori. Yeah, retracts back into the wagon.
Like the Brady Bunch.
I frighten your friend?
At this point, go on.
He's not necessarily the most sociable sort. I don't think many of us are.
Speaking of the social sort, Lesley pokes his head out of the camera. And you
Hello,
see a elderly man, well, not elderly, older, middle-aged man.
Older gentleman. Silver fox, you may say.
He's just a similar age to Balrick.
You mean my type? No.
Yes. Like dark hair with wisps of silver through it. A expertly groomed moustache and goatee. No, just moustache. I'm trying to remember Leslie's art at this point.
It might have a goatee now.
Yeah, probably like slightly grown out. In quite audacious silks of kind of turquoises, blues, and purples. Sticks their head out. A wonderful scarf around their neck. Just like, Balrick, who's this guy?
Oh my god, if we're all going to do introductions, let's get everyone out.
Okay. Lesley like jumps down.
We can help out. We'll come help out and stuff. Let me get packed up, they'll all introduce. I'm Balrick, by the way.
Name's Lesley.
Yeah. And I'll start riding Dave off to get him packed somewhere while everyone else
sort of direct
filters out.
towards where the nearest stable is.
Yeah, there's one thing nearby.
Potentially, if your insight's good, you might notice I kind of recognise where it is. I didn't notice that. Never mind.
It's
I've been here before.
Hey, Aderyn, get out here. We've got a not bad man, if I might say so.
Nicely.
Would you
Very
put
northern.
it back in your pants for 5 minutes?
Do I have
Where's
to?
the fun in that?
Well, I'm trundling away.
You don't have to do anything.
Do any other the townsfolk remaining sort of come over at all?
I'd say yeah. So as this is going on, they haven't had anyone arrive in town in a while, and at some point the town mayor, who, sorry, I need these notes, is a silver dragonborn, kind of approaches to the caravan that's turned up. And says, "Oh, can't say we're expecting visitors. Have you come to render aid? Would much appreciated."
Well, no, I'm parking. I'm not there.
I mean, we sort of come to stay the night on our travels, but I can help out if you need.
Oh,
Depends
well,
on what you need, I suppose.
you're certainly welcome to. The Blue Horn should be able to put you up for the night. Unfortunately, the Westview hostel was lost a couple of days ago.
What happened?
Probably best described over a drink, I think, rather than just out in the street.
I can agree to that.
It's late, and I think you've been travelling for a while. So, if you're willing to provide assistance, I suppose I can afford a round for willing, helpful volunteers.
Help any way I can, yeah.
I'll go and quickly make sure that my patients are comfortable for the night.
They all died.
He takes you.
You were away for too
Terrible
long.
doctor. I'm so bad.
Oh my god, you just stabbed them. What are you doing?
Yeah, I know where the spleen is.
Yeah, I'm stabbing the pain out of them.
Leeches, clearly. Giant leeches, even better.
He takes you to the Blue Horn Inn, which, as I said, has like about a quarter to a third of it is burnt out and has clearly been like hacked down, stripped out. It's almost like this is one of the first places that they attempted to clear up because it was such a like central hub of enjoyment for the town, so it gave them a place to kind of rally around. Inside, one of the hearths is gone that you remember from the previous one. But the high eaves, the remaining sections of the bar are still up. Inside, you have a rather grumpy looking human bartender, bushy moustache, who just sees you come in. Who we got bringing in now, then? Q, we barely got enough stuff to feed the locals.
Well, we're willing to pay. They have
Yeah, well,
to
money
render.
only buys you restock if people are coming through.
Oh,
I
this
mean,
one's
we
on
could
me.
probably,
What are you needing?
beds mostly.
We've
Thanks.
repurposed the back rooms so you can sort something
We
out for
don't
you
mind.
there.
We don't mind sleeping a bit rough.
Well, it's probably better than rough. What do you want?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I
Thanks.
6.
6? Sure, I can swing 6. He turns around, there's a keg on the back, and he just starts pouring out 6 tankards.
No, I'm alright, thanks.
Well, someone will drink it, I'm sure.
I don't want to drink either.
Oh,
2 for our new friend.
I might look at Aderyn and be like, Aderyn?
I've given it up, Balrick. Besides, they're not blinking.
Anyway,
Any idea what that means?
Moving on.
come, sit down. Might as well tell some people about what happened here. Might help spread the word.
So that's 1 for the new guy, and 1 for the mayor,
Much appreciated.
and the other 4 for 1 for me, 1 for Tauri, 1 for Lesley, 1 for Deck, I guess. Just put it down on the ground.
I will.
And in my broken draconic, drink, good, tasty.
Better.
I'll slide some coin to.
No like.
to Benedict.
Sorry, I didn't catch that cue. I was
I'll
busy.
slide some coin to Benedict.
I was busy role-playing a dragon.
He likes doing that.
Yeah, Q settles down. Excuse me, some of you somewhat seem familiar. Have we met before?
Passed through a while back.
Yeah, it might have been a little while back. We weren't here for long.
No, a lot of people pass through. I'll keep it short. I'm not sure exactly what you're looking for, but a few days ago, during Tianlong, a performer came through. Called themselves Smoke Fingers. Played a tune for us at the closing of Tianlong in the church square. Seemed like a decent fellow at the time, offering free services of the celebration. Who we'd turned them down when, during the festival. Everyone was quite enraptured with their performance. A little too enraptured. All of us ended up dancing through the town following this mesmerizing performance. And when we all came back to our senses, they walked into the fire at the townhouse and disappeared into the flames, and suddenly we were all surrounded by half the town on fire, and panic set in, and, well, we're lucky we saved what we did.
It sounds like some sort of enchantment.
It's what I'm afraid of, if I'm honest. And, well, many people thought that. Some people took it as a reason, a justifiable cause to follow after the rings of Karakash as they had headed west days prior.
So they're not here anymore.
No, they left a
That's
few weeks before Tianlong now.
That's a relief. They were pretty intense.
Yes, I didn't particularly enjoy having them in my town, but better to not kick up a fuss and let them move on fairly quickly.
Well, the regrowth after a forest fire is usually very, very nice and prosperous, so hopefully you can recover quickly and well.
Roll me an investigation check, Balrick.
That one.
Who's
That
got
one.
high passive perception?
Yeah, as you say that, he was just like, yeah, well, time will tell, I suppose. A handful of people stayed, tried to make the best of it. We're obviously still recovering, as you can see, and based on reports elsewhere in the fields, we're not the only ones to suffer issues, so we're making do with what we have, while merchants are nervous to head out on the roadways.
We have heard about fire incidents taking place.
I'm ready to tell you anything more I can if it's helpful.
What did this performer look like?
Smoke fingers.
Oh,
Yeah, that one.
Tall, elven heritage, long, red, crimson-coloured hair.
We'll all give each other a bit of an eye.
Aderyn just hears in their head, oh shit, there's two of them.
Aderyn's gonna respond, I think it's just the one.
Can I roll insight?
Yeah, sure.
What's he? You roll insight to see his alt. He mentions that description. We all go.
Oh boy.
Right.
19.
19. Yeah, you kind of...
As of at this sort of, Arkin's been probably been sort of a bit staring off into spacey, but sort of as all of this is being described, suddenly it like pops back into reality. Casts his eyes around amongst the assembled.
I think you recognise that we all recognise that description.
Can I close my eyes and take a deep breath from this group? Do I smell anything?
Yeah, roll me perception. I'll give you advantage.
Thank God. Woo. 25.
25.
Sniff. This is huge.
The interesting element is they don't smell like they're not from here. Like everyone else in this town, still like smoke kind of just lingers at this point. I have this kind of cinder and ash smell on them. And these guys have the same kind of thing, but the really interesting thing with the 25, that beneath all of that, even within the town, is there is a scent of not quite petrichor, but like fertile earth beneath that.
Taking notice of this, can I sort of turn to... It's like, you seem more familiar with this than you letting on. Care to elaborate?
Prefer not, if that's possible. We've encountered this guy before. In fact, that's... Do we trust these guys?
I mean, it's not like we're not in league with them or anything.
True. There's naught to lose. We've
I'm
witnessed
singing his song right now and lighting the table on fire.
It's me, naturals.
As that happens, by the way, Ximori, you kind of like lean in, but you like go to take a sip of your drink, and like you go to drink it, and it suddenly like just spills over you.
Sorry.
Got a bit too intense.
We've encountered this fellow before. This person, they've got a vendetta against the Empire in general, I think. And, they've been kind of following us, but we've been following them. They've been setting loads of fires. That's why we're traveling. Pardon?
When we met them, they were calling themselves Aderyn, not Smoke Fingers.
I'm aware.
I think it might be the same person.
I am also not from Sanroi Caar. I was traveling in the opposite direction.
Wait, you were traveling?
You seem trustworthy. Against my better judgment.
Old assessment.
As he sort of like cracks his neck a little bit, you might just hear the sound of like creaking wood from his joints. And you're like, is that the chair?
Insight check.
Go for it.
Uh, 13.
It's an odd
Is
fellow.
that the chair? Is that an armchair?
The dude's pretty intense. And he's also fairly thick build, like maybe the chair can't handle it.
It's my chair of arms now. Yeah, he seems... I just rolled to see sort of generally what you would get from a 13, and I'm not very, like, deceptive, apparently. He's intensely interested in what you're saying.
Right, yeah, in fact, we're actually on the trip. In fact, that's why we're in a bit of a rush. We want to help more, we'd love to help more, but we're leaving first thing in the morning because we think we know where this guy is going to strike next.
You do? Have you told anyone?
Cool.
And suspicion would fall on us.
Why would suspicion fall on you?
You live in the Empire.
Yes.
Also, we couldn't figure out how to get a message that way that quickly.
Well,
because the message would go at the same speed that we are.
No, well, that's very honourable of you to do it yourselves.
I mean, we're sort of messengers / hoping we can do something to help, you know.
Oh. Sorry you didn't come to a better standing place.
Sorry,
we'll do what we can to help while we're here.
Yeah.
It's much appreciated.
I recommend we all get some rest.
I can probably move some stuff around a bit if you need anything lifted for a few hours or so.
How late is it?
It's the last kind of hour of light outside at this point. And then it'll be into nighttime.
Okay.
Well, we're repurposing some of the remaining less damaged beams from condemned properties to kind of shore up the remaining ones, so if you're feeling strong, maybe you can help us shift some things around, moving from the other side of town. A lot of stonework left over from the old town hall that we can possibly repurpose.
Yeah, I'll give you a hand for at least while I've got the light, you know.
I'll do as well.
Much obliged.
I'd like to talk with you a little bit more, if that's all right, Arquin, as well. While we do so.
He sort of again comes back into focus. It's like, of course.
I do want to actually. You mentioned when you were helping people out, a golden light. Was that a very obvious thing or a very subtle thing?
It's probably like, yeah, sort of emanating from just under where his hand was touching. So
It's not super obvious.
Not like,
Would I have still noticed it? Yeah.
With your passives, yeah.
And in the dark of a tent, yes.
Yeah.
Suddenly glowing. Holy light, come forth!
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if Aderyn, Lesley, Tauri, you want to make yourselves comfortable, or you can help if you want to. But
I have a feeling that there's probably not a huge amount I can do.
I don't think I can get
Well, but-
comfortable.
I mean, as comfortable as you can.
How about you keep their company, Aderyn? Practice your draconic.
We can practice our blinking together.
Would you like
Oh.
to read the red book or the brown book? The red book's more fun, I think.
No, I think Gethin and Sarah practicing their blinking there.
I have to blink because they won't. She's gonna just sit with Dirk and blink.
Derek just rests his chin on your thigh as you're sitting at the table.
I'll
It's
come over quietly.
Heavy. You very quickly begin to feel circulation going.
Jesus.
It's going dead, it's going dead, pins and needles.
I will
I'll
come
turn.
over. Okay, sorry.
I was going to say,
Go
if
ahead.
I'll turn to Tauri and go, like, if you're a musician, perhaps you could provide some amount of comfort to these people.
I'll see what we can do.
Or I've got a book on soil.
I will come over to Aderyn because of what she's saying, and just very quietly sit next to her and go, "Are you feeling all right? It feels like it's worse."
I don't know. I think they really, really want to watch. You know?
They are
Sometimes
interested.
they open their eyes a bit wider and then they don't blink for a long time, and then you know how like darkness can just like swallow you, and like but there's loads of little dots of darkness, and then like all the dots of darkness join into one big dot of darkness, but it's not a complete dot of darkness because then there's the other eye and that one is still okay, you know?
Mood.
Not quite.
Is this like just at the table, by the way?
No. She sat by the fire, and I've got an arm around her. Very like dadly sort of way. Just quietly like reassure, like checking on her. It probably looks like we're talking to Derek, who, by the way, I didn't say they've got this massive. I did say they've got this massive Komodo dragon with this golden. A small deity apparently in one city. The last city we were in revered him as a god.
Not a deity, an icon of a deity.
Kind of a deity.
Moment.
Physical representation of deific powers, yes, but
what was I saying? So they're watching. They're interested right now.
I think so.
Is this something to do with Tabitha?
Oh no.
No.
Tabitha, I've put her underneath a cushion.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to keep track of this.
I put her underneath a cushion inside my head. You know. I don't like it when she watches. She doesn't deserve fun things.
But the blink. That's the eyes, isn't it? But there's one eye, one big eye.
I think I notice it more now since the not drinking. When I was drinking, it was easier to not notice when they were blinking and when they were not blinking.
Is it bad when they're not blinking?
I don't know. I don't like talking to them, but they like talking to me.
I'm gonna go help now, but you let me know if it changes, or if you figure it out. And try and, for the record, Aderyn, I'm glad you're not drinking. I think that's much healthier, and I appreciate you doing that.
Well, maybe I will be a better person if I don't drink.
And now, whatever you are a good person now. And whatever this is, I'll help you through it. All right?
Okay.
You enjoy Derek's company. Read Derek's story from one of Ximori's books.
Okay.
I'm sure they're appropriate for a child.
Okay.
I've got a red one, and I've got one about soil.
I think a red one then. I'll hand that to Adam now. Like, I think it's about wizards or something. Somebody said so.
Something like that. It was a bit dense. I didn't really like it all that much.
Was it? Oh well.
Dad
maybe
might
Dad
like
thought-
it.
Yeah, it's definitely a romance book where the author got a little too invested in their magic system.
Adrian's gonna read it out loud to Derek, but like will mentally add comments in Derek's mind.
I will say, Benedict is cleaning the bar and like nonchalantly doing that, and then roll me an insight or perception check, your choice.
Okay.
It's like smart, but sci-fi.
Okay. 11.
11. Yeah, he's definitely listening.
As we go past the bar, I'll sort of put another couple of silver on the table and like get some food ready
Alright,
for
Mr.
them.
Moneybags.
Yeah,
We are
sure.
helping.
Seems fair.
We are
Some more.
definitely leaving so much money when we leave. We are not allowing this to happen and us to be paid for
How much
when
food?
we are absolutely loaded.
You are absolutely loaded.
Sorry, yeah. I am not
Yeah,
letting this
that's
happen.
being
I am
just
paying
you.
for my own food.
Bank of Balrick.
I will allow this for now.
So, Ximori, Balrick, how strong you feeling?
I'm pretty strong.
Oh, you will.
Shirt, all three shirts come off.
Does Arquin count as large?
No.
Because
uh-huh.
we
You're
do.
not part of the large group. You're not part of the large group. We're the large group. We're like,
Absolute.
I
My
can lift
carrying
half a ton,
capacity is
you can lift
480
3/4 of a ton.
pounds.
Yeah,
I'll have to keep working at it.
Sarah's made a good point in the notes. Lesley potentially comes along, just to try and also show along with Shaw.
Yeah,
Show
I
off
think
their
that's fair.
muscles.
Leslie attempts to appear strong as well.
And or just sit and watch.
I mean,
You don't know what I can bench press? Because apparently it's 960 pounds.
I think mine's not that much less, is it? So I've got a decent.
Mine's only
amount.
like 200 and like 70 or something.
look, guys,
Nah.
you can put
Okay.
the measuring sticks away.
Everyone roll 3d4.
Put our black
What we need
rectangles
them to
away.
decide how big the logs are.
Put the black rectangles away.
Anyway, while we are presumably carrying things
Yes.
Yeah.
and just lifting
Time to have a manly
I'm-
bonding moment.
and having manly bonding moments,
Manly bonding
sweating,
of lifting
like,
heavy
we're all in tank top.
Homoerotic.
Yeah, the warmth of the days lingered as the clouds have settled in overnight, making it quite
Humid.
warm.
Well, it's late. You've said before it's late summer, isn't it?
Yeah, you technically start
Indian
autumn
summer.
now because Tianlong
It's
was
Indian summer.
solstice.
So Indian summer.
Yeah.
Or not Indian in this case, whatever the southern countries are.
Fathalot. Yeah.
Um,
there we go.
Thuringian summer.
Laryngean summer.
Balmy night.
But anyway, at one point, midway through this montage, I will try and quietly go to Aquin and go, I saw you in the healing tents. You, that wasn't just medicinal, was it?
As he turns to you, there's just a sort of flash of like greenish yellow light in his eyes before like in the darkness. No, it wasn't.
Is that, really quietly, is that licensed?
I don't see why it should be.
I expect that. Yeah, it's safe with me. Don't worry.
I
I think you're doing good here.
haven't been doing it for very long. Say, I think it's a new thing.
Where is it? If you don't mind me intruding, where does it come from?
To be honest, your guess is nearly as good as mine. I have some inklings, but it's nothing concrete.
Well, I hope you find some answers. Meanwhile, keep up.
May I ask you something, Balrick?
Yep. You can.
Your party is intent on following this Amphrain. Do you perhaps need another member?
We actually did lose someone a little while back. Not permanently, mind you. We managed to save them, but there has been a hole in us for the past little while on this journey. It's a very small hole, though. I don't know if you fit.
Leslie's just sniggering behind a pillar.
I'm going to wink at Lesley, implying that was for Lesley.
I think Ximori's just sort of stiffened up to what they're doing. They're just
I said it's a very small hole, though. I don't know if you'll fit.
Ximori's just sort of like paused in what they're doing. Just
so
but
naturally, at this point, Arquin has taken his shirt off, and he's got
we're all in sweaty tank tops.
Yeah.
We're all in sweaty tank tops.
He still very notably has essentially a bandana like tied around his neck, and that hasn't come off.
I was going to ask.
Actually, that's a good point. Ximori probably has the same, doesn't it? Ximori also is probably covering.
Yep, I'm still wearing my shirt.
Yeah.
Aren't you
I'm not
warm,
going
Ximori?
No, it's fine.
Sweat dripping.
At least take the sleeve off.
Yeah. Balrick actually also
That just happened when he
wouldn't
picked
take
something up and flexed.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dan.
Balrick also would, because Balrick I don't think would be sweating that much. It is from like, Balrick would be tons.
Yeah.
No, the opposite. Yeah, Balrick would be
fucking much.
Balrick's naked.
But yeah, Balrick is taking it because
Imagine Ximori's constantly at a sort of level of clammy.
Balrick does not like the heat.
Like we shake hands, and like I take.
But
Imagine Ximori's like constantly at a slight stage of like slightly glistening.
if you
Used to be the oils that were applied before fights. That was just natural.
Yeah.
We can always use more help. I think the wagon might need an extension though. If you join us, you don't have your own mode of transport, do you? Not
I've
steed of
been
your own.
Walking for the last.
Walking.
How far is it from here to where I started?
Couple 100 miles.
Walking for the last.
Whether you walked all 100 miles, a couple 100 miles is a different matter.
Hitchhiked.
Just
I've been
briefly just riding on a hog.
For the last 200 miles or so.
What can squeeze you in? This
Much obliged.
Smoke Fingers, as apparently you came across, seems very dangerous. But just so you're aware, they're not. I was going to say they're not a human, but neither are either of us.
You mean they're not mortal?
They are not a mortal being. They are of the Fair Realms.
I am aware.
Where do you attain this insight? You seem mightily read up on it.
That is a very good question. One I'm afraid I don't entirely have an answer to.
You've been chasing this guy.
Or following some kind of trail. Since I began this journey. You can roll inside if you want.
As I'm here doing lateral raises with 2 blocks of stone.
17. Oh yeah, these quiet, peaceful conversations are going while we are like hugging stuff. And
Yeah, you're going back and forth.
the rubble in this town. We're not even doing anything helpful. We're just moving piles of rubble from one place to another.
It's become a bro gym.
Emma,
I really like the idea that Ximori is like he's lifting like entire things onto his shoulders, chucking them, and then when he's doing lateral raises, 5 kilos each side.
Emma, if you're
so much.
listening and capable, can you roll me an investigation check and just drop it in chat to me?
Pardon? Who's that?
I was asking
Emma.
whether Emma can
Emma.
roll an investigation check.
Okay.
You're not
Lesley
busy
is
lifting
just
things,
pretty-
Leslie's just enjoying the view.
I got a 17 on insight.
Sketching pad out. You kind of get the sense that, yeah, not entirely certain. You know, he seems friendly enough, if a bit distant. But it seems to be that he's just generally unsure.
Of anything.
Hey, how much of your past do you know? Is it basically none?
Oops, all amnesia.
Love an amnesia character.
Well, I don't know, you
Fine.
complained when I made you into a dimensional hopping brain slug person.
Did I? I love that. Well, hopefully you joining us will help. Let's finish up here and then we'll get and rest. That's it. I imagine actually what we'll do is probably clearing out rubble to putting it outside the village, aren't we?
Bits and pieces. You're being directed around by one of the locals in terms of where useful things is. Like full on like broken rubble. Yeah, get it out of the town. It's
Finding like timbers which are mostly okay, but
Timbers
can
which
be
are
like,
usable.
worked into shape.
foundational stone that could be repurposed into something more.
Put that in a different pile.
Yeah.
At one point, I'm just like tied to a cart, just like pulling it along. More stone has
Can
come
I-
into it.
When someone's on about wood and stuff, can I like listen to them very intently to try and learn more about the important bits of timber and educate myself a little bit?
Sure. Roll me an
I'm paying attention specifically to timber.
intelligence check.
We're turning one massive pile into 8 smaller piles.
Yes.
Intelligence
This one.
18.
18. You pick up elements of what wood is useful for what, and start beginning to as the hour wears on. And you guys find yourselves definitely lost in conversation and like are working by torchlight eventually by the time you finish.
I have dark vision.
I have dog vision.
The Goliath does.
I do not.
Balrick, heads up. What? Ow.
I do have a lantern though.
Yes.
I think
I
I have
also have
two.
a
I have two. I have a magic lantern that doesn't.
You have a magic lantern that doesn't work that you were going to get the artificer to fix.
I also have a magic lantern. Mine works though.
Oh no. I also have just a normal.
I don't need it. I
lantern.
have special eyes.
No, but yeah, you're listening in, and you learn elements of kind of what joinery is being. You don't necessarily know how to make that cut, but you could recognise the cut. At least.
You now know what a plane is.
You understand conceptually what a dovetail joint is.
You,
It's where you've got
don't
a
know enough
bird in
about
between two
doves.
planks of wood.
I'm
You don't
learning
know enough
whatever I
about doves
can.
to know what the tail looks like yet.
I'm learning whatever I can to slowly apply to wagon stuff.
Yeah.
I think I probably knew the basics of house stuff anyway because I had like a log cabin in the woods.
Yeah.
I knew how to maintain a house level of stuff, but now I'm trying to figure out more detailed stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Ximori is just enjoying the chance just to work out, basically.
In fact,
That's
every
a
so
mortise,
often,
that's a tenant.
I think every so often I get out a piece of my carpenter's tools and go up to one of the guys that seems to know what they're on about and go, by the way, what is this?
It's an awl, a small one.
That's a hammer.
As for putting nails in things.
Oh, I just use my fists.
Just call Ximori over. Do you mind? Meanwhile,
Anyway.
elsewhere in town, what are the lovely ladies up
The
to?
girlies.
Including Lesley in that.
No, Leslie's with this lot.
Lesley's game watching us work out.
With a fan.
I'm assuming.
And a glass of wine.
I don't think Emma heard you.
That's fine. Carry on. Yeah, what are you two up to?
Harry will
Oh my goodness.
offer to put on a small performance to try and give some good vibes
Sure.
for the town, with no magic.
Where'd you do it?
Based off the mayor asking if that would be possible, I kind of just ask him where would be best.
Oh, well, there's a couple of places it could be done. I mean, you could do it here in the inn. I imagine if most people are going to head here shortly. Or, if you wanted to, you could do it up in the church courtyard. Hasn't really been anything up there since. Unsurprisingly.
You sure people want to go back?
Don't know. If I'm honest, impromptu performances aren't exactly a chance to ask a straw poll.
We'll do it here. They can enjoy some food, drink, and music.
Certainly. Benedict, you got a stage? Can put a couple of barrels on top of each other. Not serve?
I'll do. I don't need much.
No. Better help out where I can. He gets up and starts moving some of the barrels and crates and stuff to kind of make a small kind of stand-in stage. It's not big. It's like very much like open mic night, small stage with a stool on top of it kind of thing, rather than...
Honestly, all I was going to do was find a barrel to sit on and play. In the corner, leaning up against it.
Aderyn?
What I do?
Aderyn's just like reading the book out loud to Derek, and every so often she'll stop and she'll like have a staring competition with Derek, and then she'll blink many times in a row. But then if anyone walks past, she'll like freeze, and then as soon as they walk past, she'll do some weird gestures at them, but not in a mean way. And then she'll just start asking Derek some really philosophical questions about eyes.
You don't speak Draconic yet. Any response you get is intelligible to you.
She's trying really hard to use what she's learned of Draconic, which is probably terrible. So
You're getting some practice in. You're getting practice in with a Drake who speaks in cat memes. It is a horrible way to learn.
Speaking of, as it's like Ximori, Balrick, Arquin, and Lesley. He would like to go to, like, just sort of wander over to Balrick and say, I saw you speaking with your friend in slightly concerned tones. Are they all right?
Yeah. Aderyn is she struggles sometimes. She's lovely. Really a lot of respect for Aderyn. A lot going on, but there's a lot going on.
I understand.
I think that's not for me to reveal, really. Earn her trust. She's fine. She'll be alright.
totally fine.
Got that.
On a cosmic scale, fine.
Possibly worse on a cosmic scale, actually.
Yeah.
As you lot are finishing up for the night, Lesley draws. Lesley finishes you up and just goes over to you. Nice job, you lot. Pleasure watching your work. Anyway, you notice that? Points out behind you. You can see in the ruin of the building that you've been doing that. There's still like some walls kind of up, like crumbled down or burnt out walls, where like it's pointed out to you now, and you hadn't noticed it before, that there is like a green kind of like weed or a vine that's starting to just like crawl up out of the ground and like bind itself onto the foundations. The two of you and all three of you can roll investigations off the back of that if you wish.
15 minus 1.
Investigation or nature, I'll let you choose actually.
Ah, wicked.
Do I get secret help?
Secret help.
I got a dirty 20.
15 minus 1.
15, 14, dirty 20.
4.
4. Last is...
I know plants. Can't
be asked. Balrick, you're looking at
Plants
it.
can't die. Plants
You're
can't
looking
die,
at it.
satisfying me.
And your brain just goes, I mean, yeah, any kind of ruin, eventually greenery will start taking over, right? Unless it's maintained. But the speed of which that's come in, you having talked to the mayor and the people helping around, this happened, 4 days ago? This fire? Like the end of Tianlong, and basically you've been travelling since then. There is not conventional growing. That plant life doesn't grow that much. And as you like take a look around, especially with your passive investigation, like these buds and shoots are everywhere, just in the cracks, in like the ash and soil that's kind of collected on the roads and in the corners of building spaces. It's not like taking over, but it's definitely a presence that you wouldn't expect to see in 4 days.
I might point it out to people and go, that's I think he's trying to reclaim this land. Look, there's some there and there. They're growing too quickly.
Arquin will crouch down next to some of it and sort of, hold some in his hand. Seems a little bit too sort of taken with it, to be honest, as well.
Ximori's gonna walk up to one and just sort of grab hold of it, like near the root, and just like
Balrick is gonna look at these two dumbasses and go, alright, I point out a magical looking plant that has grown really freakishly quickly, and your first instincts are to touch it?
to get rid of it, then it can't grow anymore.
Roll me Constitution saves.
Oh, damn.
Natural 20.
10, so 17.
Nothing happens.
What a waste. What a waste.
It's fine.
It can't be a waste of you, Q. What I will say is it's definitely not all the same plant. But you would have to investigate further for more details.
Can I do a sniff?
Sure. You going with sniff on this?
Yes.
Can I do a lick?
Yeah, you can do a lick.
19?
19.
Is this sniffing just normal sniffing, or is this like a super sniffing?
It's kind of a super sniff.
Oh.
Mine's just a normal lick.
You get the same smell that this whole place has been, but now you're like beginning to pinpoint that underneath smell. Right? That fertile earth smell that's been lingering around is very much kind of tied to this, and like this whole concept. Roll me a wisdom save, actually.
Save.
Anthony.
Oh well, time to kill them.
You're hit with a sudden
boy.
wave of events and emotional feelings. It's purely emotional kind of waves of varying elements, and it's just like, oh, right, this whole thing is, you're essentially hit with almost like the concept of renewal as its entirety is what this whole town is beginning to represent, right? It's gone through needing a reset, having its reset. It's currently in the down stage, and from that, something else will hit. And there's a moment where that's going to overwhelm you before you kind of just kind of resolve yourself back into the physical world.
It's sort of like, the way that men do when they're briefly overtaken by emotion.
What do I get from my lick?
A very earthy, planty taste. Roll me nature.
-1 is 15.
15. You've eaten this plant before a long time ago. Probably as a dumb child, but
I recognise that taste.
well, you eventually, all four of you with Lesley, head back to the Blue Horn Tavern, where you're beginning to hear the sounds of... Sorry, Tauri, what instrument are you playing?
Lute. Guitar.
Just a lute, kind of echoing out from the open air, as, let's say, clouds have settled in. There's a potential threat of rain during the night, but at least it's holding off for now. A couple of fires have been lit. While one of the two big hearths of the Blue Horn Inn was lost, they've kind of created small fire pits, especially in the kind of outside undercover sections, to keep warm. This scant few dozen people who have stayed in the town kind of gather around. Drinks are poured, and there's general chatter and hubbub that starts taking over as you all kind of sit back down together. Well, except for Tauri, who... Bryn, please roll me a performance check.
Can I help by joining in?
Sure. How'd you join in?
I take out my flute, and I just sort of tweedle along with it.
Are you proficient in performance?
I am.
Cool. Then yes, you can provide advantage.
Good, because that was a 3 that turned into an 18 plus 7.
You start off kind of unsure what vibe to go for. You're like, am I trying to cheer them up? Am I trying to hit the mood? What am I going for? And then Ximori comes in with a tune of some kind, and you just instinctively, like, just start running off that. And very quickly...
Penny whistle solo!
An old tune from back home.
Yeah. And you
It's
just
the only
start...
song I know.
You just start getting into the flow of it and just playing along. What kind of music is Tauri playing?
It's more of like a lounge vibe. Just kind of background music that you kind of just hear if you went into a bar or something that's just there, but not
Smooth jazz.
It's
Smooth
not there
jazz.
to be the thing that people are paying attention to. It's just provide backing to the general
Atmosphere.
conversation. Gotcha.
Yeah, just make it a bit lighter.
It's just smooth jazz, but with a lute and a flute.
Hey, I did jazz
A penny
flute. That's a
whistle.
thing. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, but one's like a penny whistle. It's not like an actual flute.
But you are now all back together. Drinks, both alcoholic and just fruit juices, are laid out for you to kind of converse and figure out what your plans are. Benedict is behind the bar.
Arquin will.
I think what
Sorry, after you.
what I'd like to do at some point is just basically... Is Aderyn still like sitting by the fire, basically? You know? I'm gonna go sit with
Yeah.
Aderyn at some point, yeah. Just like sit down across from them after playing a bit of music. You know, life is better than I thought it would be. And I don't know how to feel about that.
What do you mean life is better than you thought it was going to be?
I mean, Norak's gone. So now I
We
can
take
just
a- Take a look.
so like
I like pop up for a moment and go,
so that like the thing I've been running away from all this time it's been lifted, you know? And now I feel like I want to celebrate that, but I feel like I can't because of everything else. And because everywhere we go, people are suffering and struggling. But for the first time in a long, long time, I'm not.
I think I'm really glad you do feel that way. I think maybe perhaps once Norak is dead, then it can be, for sure, right?
Yeah, I mean, once, I mean, I don't know if his crimes might be enough to get him sentenced to death. Either way, he's not going to be, like, leaving custody for a long time.
But what if he got out?
Well, then any sense of freedom I have would be a lie as long as he was alive. And I'd probably have to run away from all of you to keep you all safe in case he found me again. Then I'd be on my own again. And maybe after another 5 years or so, I might find other people that I get on with well, that I feel I let my guard down, and then Norak finds me again, and it all repeats. I guess.
Well, for now, just stay with us, because we have your back, and, if anything should happen, because, you never know, we've practiced, right? You can cover your ears.
Oh,
and yes, and we can help.
What? No, I'm kidding. I heard you that time.
Besides, we're going away from the city, so
Yeah. So we should be fine. But, like, are you okay? Like, really? Because you've been looking at me weirdly. And I understand why.
I don't want to treat you any differently, and I still think of you the same, I don't think that it was your fault, that you meant it or anything, and if anything, I'm angry on your behalf, Ximori. I am in constant fear of losing control, and you had to experience that, and it's not fair, it's just not fair. But also sometimes when I look at you, I see the way you pour through all of us. So sometimes it makes me feel a little bit scared.
Yeah. I understand that, It's it's not your it's I'm dangerous. I was made to be dangerous, The fact that you're afraid of me is a proof that I was made well.
But you might be dangerous, but you're nice. It's just unfair because Tabitha wasn't dangerous, but she also wasn't nice. And when I look at you, sometimes I feel the same way as when I looked at her. And that's not fair.
I guess, but I want you to be okay. Because I feel like if I can help you, then maybe it's not hopeless for me. You know? Like, if you can get control of this, maybe I can get control of this. And then I don't have to leave you all and I don't have to say goodbye to more friends.
You don't have to leave. I don't know if I will lose control or not. I try not to. This stuff helps.
Well, only you're allowed to do this, mind. If you ever feel like you are losing control, point it at me, okay? I can take it.
They don't think you can, but okay.
Well, they think I can, so...
They talk to you too?
I mean, one of them does, I guess. One person talks to me.
Oh. Have they been blinking today?
Do you have eyes? Are they my eyes? Whose eyes are these?
Ours.
I mean, I guess because I've been blinking, so they've been blinking.
So when
Yes,
you
please.
blink, they blink?
Yeah.
Aderyn's just gonna sit back and like blink more peacefully. She's gonna be like,
Everyone is now manual blinking.
Yeah, take that, all 3 viewers.
Stephen, if you're out there, zag it. Anything else anyone wants
Hey
to do?
Emma, we know you're watching to catch up. Fuck you. Get better soon.
Anyone else have anything to do? Yeah.
If the party comes together at some point during the night, Arquin would like to say to the lot of them, I've already asked Balrick this, but would you at all mind if I join you on your journey? I am in search of this Amphrain character.
I mean, what do you bring to the table?
Aside from my sparkling personality, I am a competent combatant, and I have a variety of skills.
How good are you at being stabbed? / getting in the way of people trying to stab other people?
Very.
Well, I'm fine with it then.
I am also capable of undoing the damage.
Oh, in that case, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
More people
Wait.
that
Oh, yeah,
stop
it's for
and
me.
try and stop him, the better.
Imagine this is a point where Tauri and Ximori have sort of paused in their performance, but
Yeah.
Ximori might just hear a little bit of music sort of around Arquin, in that, it's like, wait, hang on. And then it's gone.
Immediate panic.
The worst person to notice that.
I rage.
Oh, Aderyn also would. Again, poor person for
To
that
be
to
fair,
happen
she
to.
is hearing so many other voices right now.
She's, yeah.
Oh wow, they've taken up music.
So they're not keeping time with the blinking.
It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Come on.
She brings out her, she's got a little hand drum and she's gonna start
Absolutely not. Aderyn's mental brain only goes in complex rhythm patterns.
Shuffle the backing
1, 2, 3,
vocals.
4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3,
7:15
1 and a 2
time.
and a 3, a 1 and a 2 and a 3, a 1
That's
and a 2
not how
and a
time
3.
I know.
signatures work, Gethin.
It is with the voices in Aderyn's head.
It's simple. It's simple. She's in 5, 4, 3, 6.
Yeah.
I'm in 12, 8, 13, 4.
They're real time signatures.
Yep.
The other one is that as we all sort of like toast, half of you probably spill your drinks. Just like wait a minute.
Why?
And I just like,
That's the second time I've done that today. I'm usually so good at drinking. My drinking problems come back.
When we get to bed, I will spend a bit of time reading the book, but not enough to get exhaustion. Just to keep it going. I don't expect to necessarily learn anything today, but just to keep the process.
No, that's fine. Do you do it while at the table, just enjoying the evening with everyone, or do you want to wait until everyone is functioning on to bed? And like do it as you're like in bed reading.
Yeah, it will be in bed reading. That's why
Okay.
I'm not expecting to do much.
That's fine. Just wanted to check where you wanted to do it. Anyone else? Happy for the evening?
as we are about to go to bed, Arkin's probably sat at the table, just again staring off into space, and I don't know if anyone would notice, but he has a small silver box in his hand. He's just sort of turning over and over, and might sort of put up to his head and flick open, and then close it. And again, just hold it in his hand.
I like.
Aderyn. Yeah, Aderyn might as well.
I would be starting to copy Tiny Hut.
Okay, that's what you're going to do.
What,
Sure.
what
I probably would do
Might
that while
notice.
we're downstairs as well.
You might notice.
I'm not necessarily going to get that done tonight because it's 6 hours, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll give you an hour on that with how late it is at this point. Aderyn, you were going to do something.
Yeah, I was gonna say I might notice because since Arkin's come, she might be slightly curious to be like, who are you? So she might walk over and say, "So you're going to be traveling with us?"
If that's all right.
Did Balrick say it was alright?
He did.
Then I suppose it's alright.
Thank you.
What is that? Is that like a music box? You were listening to it.
It is, yes. And he will put it down on the table, and it's just, it's a small engraved silver music box, engraved in sort of elven script. And he will open the lid, and a small silver elven figure is just gently spinning as a tiny little, almost like tinny elven dirge plays in a male elven voice.
Paper faces on parade. Masquerade.
And
Or otherwise Angelo Weber will get.
and I probably don't need to, you probably don't need to roll insight to see that he is very absorbed in this. And then as it sort of finishes, he will just gently close the lid. And sort of trace the elven script on it.
That's beautiful. Is it from your childhood?
No.
You don't know? Well, how long have you had it?
As long as I've been on this journey.
How long have you been on this journey?
How many days has it been since I started walking?
It's been about 3 weeks. Just over.
Three weeks ago.
3 weeks. That's strange if you don't remember them. Do you mind if I take a look at it?
Of course. It'll slide across the table.
Just gonna pick it up and like have a look at it. Is there anything strange about this fancy music box?
It appears to be handmade. It's in a Elvish script, although the style isn't entirely Elvish. It seems someone that learned various styles of silversmithing and the like. And yeah, sort of is magically enchanted to play this male elven voice, singing in this sort of very beautiful elven dirge.
Did you say it was like a figure dancing as well inside?
Yeah. Oh, can I have a roll investigation to notice something?
Yeah, sure. Roll investigation.
Roll investigation, Sarah.
Sarah, do you want to roll it? Yeah, Aderyn, roll investigation.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, Hugh is making. Hugh is
So Hugh was for a second. I was like,
Hugh is
Hugh,
taking over.
Hugh trying to investigate his own thing.
Listen, weirder things have happened.
I think it's
now.
I think it's really.
I have made someone insight check themselves before.
22.
It looks damaged a little bit, like it's been dented, and there's weird gaps in the music, and it almost looks like there's meant to be a second figure in the middle.
Ooh.
Mysteries.
Can Aderyn try and the way she reaches out to people to talk to them in their heads? Can she try that, but with a little figurine inside the music box?
You're going to talk to the figurine?
I don't know. Maybe if do they have a brain?
Roll me a charisma check.
Sarah figured out something like 20.
Charisma, just a straight
20
charisma.
sessions too early. Help, I'm trapped in the music box!
30-20.
Dirty 20. You kind of reach out that consciousness towards this metal box, and it takes a second of concerted will to drown out the dozens of other voices that are in the nearby vicinity before you drill down on this tiny silver figurine of a small elf. Focus in on the mind that is behind that precious metal and the song that comes from it. And there's nothing there. It's a mailbox.
Little bastard. We were all so ready.
Aderyn's gonna very daintily hand it back and say, have you dropped it or done anything to it in these 3 weeks? It looks a bit damaged.
Not during my journey, no.
Well, the figure looks a bit lonely, and if you don't remember how you got it at all.
I feel like I know who the figure is, but I don't remember.
Well, I don't think it's family. I mean, looking at you and looking at the figure. But perhaps
holding in. both
Perhaps he'll remember if you keep looking at it.
Would be
It's
nice.
very pretty, though.
And as he sort of like raises his glass and sort of sticks it against your little apple juice, and you take a drink, and the apple juice just spills over you. It's like, I'm sorry.
Now I'm going to go have to clean this with real soap. And she's going to storm off, go on the corner and just prestidigitation, dress clean.
Lesley comes around the corner and just hands you a fresh apple juice.
A hero, truly.
Can't stick around with this guy. He keeps making us spill our drinks.
It's not
touching
good.
you.
It's going to be a real
I
problem
ain't
with
touched-
health potions.
Yeah, you lose a D4.
Just the modifier.
Lose a health potion.
Just the modifier. Anything else this evening? Tauri, you've got an hour of spell copying.
I was going to do my usual ritual of maintaining my weapons and stuff, but also adding taking off my armor and kind of trying to get used to the leatherworking tools, which I think I possibly I've not got proficiency in them, but I think I possibly will have had experience because I've made my own. I've adjusted my own leather armor and stuff and help build this, but I'm just going to try get used to them. Maybe once long ago I might have had a proficiency that's gone away and I'm trying to sort of relearn it.
Yeah.
And just getting used to it by maintaining my own leather armor, fixing some notches and dents and scratches and stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. You kind of all essentially start making your way to the back rooms that have been set aside for people who don't necessarily have a bed to sleep in right now. It does seem that not that many of the locals at this point are sleeping in these beds, thankfully. They seem to have most got at least somewhere more permanent to stay in at this point. But you all bed down for sleep. Aderyn.
Oh. Okay. This is on me for talking about blinking.
She was also mentioning during the break she hasn't had a dream in a while. She's
Jinx.
literally like, no, I haven't had a dream in a little while. It's getting forgotten.
Wonder why that is.
Always reads his notes.
In the middle of your dreams, Aderyn, as the starry night is blanketed in cloud, you kind of drift off to the faint noise outside of a fair few people still hanging about in the tavern, Balrick still fussing over his armour. In the middle of the night, sometime, you see a great eye. Draconic. Deep purple. The iris flecked with veins of lilac and amethyst veining. It stares into you, into your mind, inspecting memories, fragments. A forest, dark trees, mist. You see a ruin, lichen on stone, voices, hide. And a pool, cool and clear, a cave beyond, cool and dark. As your mind wanders into the dark, a lilac sheen flashes. Facets, edges, crystalline. Roll me a check. Any skill check you want. Just let me know.
Any
what skill.
skill check. Okay. I'm gonna do.
Strength,
Well,
athletics.
um, she's gonna like stand up straight as if like, oh, I'm being watched by the important eye. I gotta like, you know, be presentable. So she's gonna roll performance.
Okay.
30-20.
30-20. You stand upright in the presence of this entity. There is a weight, a mental force, old and focused, sitting on the other side of this crystalline barrier, lens. One large eye comes into shape on the other side. It blinks. It regards you, and then it seems to regard this gem that you are encased in. Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. 13.
13. As you look back, the eye is refracted. It's caught in multiple edges. And as you blink, it blinks and it changes. It changes to dark and starlight and the colours of the night sky beyond your vision. And just as you reach out to inspect this new shape, this new colour, there is a pulse. Your hand is thrust back. The eye returns to the purple dragon, and it blinks one more time, and you feel light go out in this crystalline structure, and you wake up in your bed.
Oh.
You look around you. Everyone else is asleep at this point. It's just quiet.
Aderyn's gonna. Is there like a bathhouse or like a bath in this tavern?
Yes, there's a bath. Genuinely, it's a communal bath in this communal bunkhouse, essentially, at this point. It's got a small kind of screen that's used for privacy, but other than that, it's basically right in the middle of this room.
Okay. I think she's not gonna wanna go back to sleep, so she's gonna go and just like submerge herself in a bath to try and like hold on to the feeling of like that cool water and like so she's just gonna like not go back to sleep and just go there until people wake up the next morning.
Roll me an insight check.
Thank you, Balrick.
Like a prune.
4 hours in a bath. Presumably stone cold.
Stone cold, it's not warmed. To be fair, she does have prestidigitation that can warm, but at best it's like
Insight.
lukewarm water.
Insight. That's a nat 1.
You spend the rest of the evening kind of in half sleep, half not wanting to go back to experience that, and you are unable to pass anything about that dream. In fact, fragments of it begin slipping away from you like dreams regularly do. But you feel encased in water, like there's the pressure pushing down on you, like almost a faint hug of something greater than yourself. Eventually, dawn breaks. Due to the extensive elements of fire damage, doesn't really block out the light entering this room, and you are all rudely awakened Arquen, you've been sleeping in this place as well, since you have no real other place to sleep in the town. And it is barely dawn. Sun has just crest over the eastern horizon. As you all kind of start coming to, getting your stuff together. Mage! A voice calls from outside. Submit yourself to be judged, and your companions will be spared.
Have we heard this voice before?
You have indeed. Talking to civilians on the road. At the crossroads north of Narrow.
I'm fucked.
I'll put on my armor and weapons.
Do you wear heavy armor?
I do.
That's 10 minutes.
I was already halfway through.
You start putting it. What'd you do?
Yeah. I think we armor up.
Aderyn's gonna get out of the bath.
The black bands. Black rectangles.
I've got a wonder
Runs across the room.
Aderyn is just dark as in front of us, or Aderyn submerged herself in a bath, fully clothed.
It was fully, you know what? It was fully clothed. She's just gonna be soaking wet.
Just her night clothes soaked through.
The other thing is, you would definitely notice, even those of you not versed in armor, that Arquin doesn't wear steel. He wears bronze. Doesn't have any iron on him.
No.
Weird.
Well.
Mage!
I need to roll for that.
You have 1 minute, or we'll come in and get you ourselves.
He's also got a full-fronted face helm engraved with elven
I
script.
should point out.
I would like to go and see how many of them
the
there
Sutton
are.
Who
Best
helmet.
we leave and go outside. Better to deal with it out there.
I'm wondering, is there a
I don't
back
see how
exit?
many of
Can we
them
get
there are.
Arquin, you've been here a while. Is there a back exit?
Ximori, roll me perception.
Is there a real exit, Arquin?
You can kick your way through that wall without much problem.
Is it loud? Oh,
21.
we need to get to the wagon though. I'm not leaving Dave behind.
The wagon is further up the hill from where you are. Just for your own information. Ximori, what'd you roll?
21.
21. You kind of go up to the window in this space and just kind of like peer around, and what you can see is waiting on the main road that leads out of town, maybe a quarter of a mile down the road from the Blue Horn Inn, which is maybe about a quarter mile from the only gate out of town. You see 3 horses and 3 figures on them. Particularly, you see the muscle-bound blue dragonborn wearing very thick armor. On the other side, a beady-eyed dwarf wearing kind of hardened, slightly stained leathers and a very short, well-groomed beard, not really in the dwarven style. And in the center, a tall, pale-skinned half-elf. Their long black hair tied in a very tight ponytail with tattoos etched in the sides of their shaven head, who jumps off his horse, his red lacquered armor settling as he lands, and just starts like scanning around while sliding a long pole arm from the sheath on his horse as the other 2 begin to dismount themselves.
All right. Can we let's leave out the back here. See if we can sneak our way up to the top to Dave. If we can get Dave up to a run, they're not going to be able to stop him.
Are these people?
Not friends of ours.
Got that impression.
Look. I've seen what you can do. And there are some of us in this group that are similarly talented and just like you, I don't think that it should be much of a crime.
How did they find us?
They've been on our trail since Crossroads. They're not going to stop.
Then should we just try and fight them?
We don't know how dangerous they are.
Get the impression that we know how dangerous you are. You do.
Well,
This isn't the place to reveal yourself. Let's try and get out of here.
with that agreed, and maybe 15 seconds left on the minute counter you were given, as you all hurriedly begin to pack your things and figure out your way out of here, I think there is a decent place for us to stop. As we zoom out of the Blue Horn Inn, the mages and their protectors piling on Scarpering, and the Castigator and his aides nearing in. We will leave our story there and pick it up next time.
Damn it.
But until then, see you later.